has its ups and downs. Turn your pretty face to an ugly frown. Seems that when I fix one thing,
Hello, welcome to The Awakening. The topic for discussion today is the elections of 2009. My guest today is a wonderful guy. We've all known him for the last 10 years as our mayor of Bowie, Frederick Robinson.
Good to see you.
Welcome, Mayor Robinson.
Pleasure to be here.
I want to start this out because I want people to know how I feel about you.
This is encouraging.
Well, we met approximately 10 years ago. You don't remember that, but I do. Okay. I lived down at, no, I'm not going to tell where I live. But anyway, you came down my street and you came up and knocked on my door very politely and said, "I'm Fred Robinson, I'm running for mayor of Bowie. Can I put a sign in your yard?" And I said, "Of course, you can put a sign in my yard." You had two young men with you. A little after that, this car drives up and this very beautiful lady gets out and she goes, "Hi, I'm the mayor to be's wife." And she said, "I'm Jackie."
That's Jackie, yeah, that's my brother.
So Jackie, so between the two of you, I saw a good relationship.
That's true.
You have very kind eyes, so I trust you. As politicians, I usually don't trust politicians.
Oh my
But you have honest eyes.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're very welcome. And I went with my gut feeling with your eyes, and we voted for you that year. Okay. And we voted for you for every time since.
Well, thank you very much.
So
I'll have to make sure when I come to your house I don't wear sunglasses.
That's right. So now you're running for 6 terms, which is going to put you at 12 years when you're done. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why? Why?
Well, this is my hometown. I love this community. You know, we've raised our kids. Jackie and I have been here forever, and the kids have grown up here.
You've been here as long as I have. I've been in Bowie for 25 years.
Well, you're a rookie. I got here in '68.
And I was only 10 when I moved here.
Okay. I was about 12, I think.
You were 12? Okay, we should have gone out and played a little bit.
No, I just love this town. It's a great place to be, and even though we've grown considerably, you know, I still look at it as kind of a a family-focused community. And I tell people, if you really want to get a sense of what Bowie's all about, so go to any ball field in the city on a Saturday morning, and you'll see an absolute United Nations of people out there. And all the parents are doing what parents do all around the world. They're embarrassing their children. Yes, yes. But this is great. I think we've accomplished a lot. You know, if you kind of look back on some of the things we've been able to accomplish in the last few years, I think we've done some good in the city, and I just want to keep doing that. I mean, you know, if you look at there's obviously the sporting and recreation things that we've done.
Exactly.
The youth centers and the senior center and the gym and all those things. But it's still a great community. I enjoy living here, and you know, it's just my role, my way of contributing.
Okay, the city of Bowie, like everywhere else, we're facing strong economic challenges.
Oh, true.
How do you think the city is doing now? Better, worse, or could do better?
Well, we've got some challenges now, not so much because of ourselves, but we're interacting with the county government, the state government, and the federal government. The city is, in a word, we're solvent. One of the things that we've done over the years is do what we call serious strategic planning. We look at where the city is today, where it's going to be 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 years, what kind of infrastructure might be needed for that, and how we should stage that along. And we've been very successful at doing that. And we've been pretty successful in managing our money and making sure that we don't get too far out beyond our means. And as a consequence, we've had, every year I've here, we've had a solid balanced budget with as minimal taxing. Like this year, we actually held the city's tax rate flat. And because the city has adopted the obligation of the police department, our county taxes have come down 4 cents. So there's actually a net reduction in our combined taxes this year of about 4 cents. And I think that's largely because we've assembled a great staff. The city manager does a great job, and the financial office do a great job of keeping things moving. And council has been very attentive. You know, if you look at it, I've got a 6-member council.
6-member council.
I'm sorry?
6-member council.
6-member, and if you look at it, I mean, other communities across the state would die to have the talent that's on there. You know, I've got 2 business owners, I've got 2 lawyers, I've got a nuclear engineer, and a PhD chemist. Now, the downside of having so many bright people around you, they all have their own opinions. And
You've heard that. They're like a-holes. Everybody's got one.
Yeah. Well, that's a different way to put it, I suppose. But everybody comes together. The strength of this group is that even though sometimes we look at different ways to achieve a goal, when we get to the goal, there's a lot of support for what we do.
But before you get there, does everybody sit down, put their heads on the table, and come across with what they thought and what they feel?
You know, I've always tried to encourage people to, to engage, and that's what they do. And my job is to put an issue on the table, try to frame, what the issue's about and what we have to do, and then council has a freewheeling opportunity to put in their observations, their recommendations, and then we try to distill all that, and if we can get a majority moving in one direction, that's what we do. And once we conclude that issue, then we go to the very next one. So we try not to waste a lot of time.
Well, I was kind of apprehensive about getting our own Bowie Police Department, but I'm going to tell you something I saw the other day that was fantastic. You know how when people are lined up waiting for the red light, there was a policeman like 2 cars behind me. Well, this bunch of teenagers were coming in, flying down the street, and they ran the red light. That police officer, 2 cars behind me, a Bowie policeman, he put on his, his little thing going on, what do you call that? His
the light, the emergency light?
Yeah, emergency light, and boom, all this. He got around the traffic. He went after those kids. And I was so amazed, but I was so happy that he was going to put, because these kids were flying like they had no tomorrow.
Well, the problem with kids, as you know better than most, is sometimes they consider themselves invulnerable and they don't think before they do something. And the police department takes those issues very seriously. One of the things that I constantly get feedback on from the community is concerns about speeding and sometimes reckless driving and people that ignore stop signs and whatever. So the police are out there, and we go out of our way when we have Chief Perez or somebody come up to give us a presentation or report on the status about something. We go out of our way to make sure that everybody watching understands that we've heard the concerns, we've heard the complaints, and we've instructed the police department that this is what you should be doing. So I tell people, if you get a ticket, don't come to me complaining about it, because you're getting plenty of advance warning.
Exactly. What do you see as some of the major problems here in Bowie?
Well, the biggest issue right now is obviously the overall economy and trying to blend in with the county and the state. One issue that is percolating right now is on the public safety side. With the city adopting its own police department, we're still have an integrated effort with the county police, and that's going fairly well. The challenge that we have right now is the county is going through a major downsizing with the county fire and EMS service. They, as late as last week, we were advised they had about 65 vacancies, and they lose 3 to 4 people a quarter because of normal attrition, and they have a substantial percentage of their remaining staff that are eligible to retire tomorrow. So you put all those things together, and what our concern is to try to sit down with the county and say, okay, what's plan B? How are we going to start dealing with this? We all know that what we're going to need, and of course the county's constrained like a lot of other governments are in terms of money. So we're trying to convince the county that this is not necessarily a dollars issue, it's a priority issue. That the county's going to have to sit down and say lesser priorities are going to have to go unfunded, and these kinds of public safety, public health, public education, these are the things that we have to fund first.
But they're making cuts on so many things on Mayor
Robinson. They are.
Are we going to have enough of policemen? I mean, not policemen, but the fire departments when we need them? Everything's just getting so bad. Right
now, we have a challenge. I tell you who the real heroes are here, too, is the city's volunteer force. This past summer, things were getting such a challenge in the county fire department. They were one solution they put on the table was to close a station every day and move the remaining people around to the other 2 or 3. And
I suppose we have problems coming up that time of day.
Yeah, well, see, what the problem is with that is if you close the station in Old Bowie, for example, that means you don't have any immediate service to the whole north end of the city or the university.
That's very true. That's very true.
So what the volunteers did is they sat down with the county and said, we can provide a number of volunteers so that instead of closing the station, let's put a minimal county staffing and we'll put some of our people in there and let's try to work this out. Unfortunately, the volunteer people have a limited capacity because all their people work other jobs and most of them have multiple challenges. We're trying to work our way through this, but it's a serious issue. I mean, there's no question about it.